Hey everybody, this is MW. We're here at Big Frank's South Texas Fishing and Hunting Expo. Today I'm here with Roy, and he's with Operation Game Thief with the Texas Parks and Wildlife. And how are you doing today, Roy?
Doing great. It's a good show. Enjoy being here. Always enjoy getting out and taking my my trailer here out, let the public see what we're all about. I get an opportunity to mix with people and tell them about our program, Operation Game Thief. I recruit memberships here. I sell a little merchandise as a part of a fundraising project we have, and we solicit donations and memberships. That's what keeps us going.
Well, I think that's great. To everybody out there that we have out there watching TV right now, we'd like you to go ahead and tell us a little bit about Operation Game Thief and what you're trying to accomplish here.
Well, Operation Game Thief came into effect back in the 1980s. I was a game warden of 1972 up until that time when they brought the program into effect. So I know it's a good program. I worked before they had the program, and so I've had the experience of being before the program and then after the program. It's a very effective program. We have a 1-800 number that people can call. If they see a violation or they think they see a violation, call that 1-800 number. It goes to a 24-hour dispatcher. We have one in Austin and one in Houston. And they have contact with all the game wardens in the state of Texas. So if someone sees a violation out there or thinks they do, call that number. They'll give a game warden a call. He'll come check it out, and that person is entitled to a reward, which Operation Game Thief pays them upon the arrest and conviction of a violator. It's a good program. It's an effective program. It's a resource protection program, and it's a wildlife crime stopper program is basically what it is.
How long does it take, one of these animals, they've been poached out of season, how long does it take to produce a line back again from the poaching? Meaning, how far of an impact does this have on the wildlife itself?
Well, certain animals that I have on display here are threatened and endangered species, so it has a huge effect on it. In fact, I've got a whooping crane that I'm getting mounted as we speak. It was killed up in the Beaumont area last year. The fella killed 2 whooping cranes, which are a threatened species, and he paid a hefty fine and a civil restitution for the replacement of that animal. But it just depends on what animal we're talking about as to what effect it's going to have on that particular resource.
I know, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but in Galveston, they had a house that was processing fish, and I think when the game wardens got there was like 40 pounds of fillets that were marked to send out. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, one of our resources is the fishing industry along the Texas coast here. It's a huge multi-million-dollar industry, and game wardens are stationed up and down the coast. Like here in Nueces County where we're at now, I think we probably have 8 game wardens stationed just here in Nueces County. They protect that resource. Just last week, they busted a huge commercial operation there in the Houston area, Galveston area. Commercial fishermen bringing redfish, red snapper to the coast and providing a marketplace for them, illegally selling those resources which they're not entitled to sell.
Now, is there enough of a penalty to where that the risk is not worth the reward?
Oh, yeah. Years ago, it used to be a Class C misdemeanor with a maximum fine of up to $200, and then later it went up to a $500 fine. But nowadays, those penalties can be enhanced, and it can get up into felony charges being filed for taking a resource from the people of the state of Texas. Not only the fine is assessed, there's also a civil restitution that's assessed, and the person has to pay that civil restitution before they can ever be entitled to hunt or fish again or be purchased a license in some situations.
So if you're an illegal commercial operation, right, and you get caught, it's not going to be a slap on the hand. There's going to be severe penalties involved.
There's a severe penalty involved, yeah. It's not like it used to be where it's just a Class C misdemeanor. It can get on up there in the thousands of dollars and jail time.
You hear that, everybody? There's going to be guys like Roy out here, and they're going to be looking for you. So if you're an illegal poacher, know that you're at risk of getting caught and doing jail time. Now, Roy, can you tell us a little bit about the game that you have up here on the wall?
Every one of the species that you see here are taken illegally, and each one of them has a story. Depending on what you want to hear, I can tell you all about them, because I've been with this trailer here for the last 4 years. So if I don't know the story, I've heard the story from people that actually know about this particular animal that was taken. This one was taken by a restaurant operation up in the Dallas area, and the man paid a heavy fine. The embarrassment of being portrayed in the public as a poacher, and everybody thought he was a respectable hunter. This guy catches a fish. He's a fish guide, and he took a client out to catch this striped bass and caught it illegally with a rainbow trout, which is totally illegal. Rainbow trout is a game fish that you cannot use to take fish. You have to use artificial bait or something along those lines.
Well, and that's a striper, is it not?
Yeah.
So a rainbow and that striper shouldn't even be in the same body of water.
No, he actually is just using the bait, the rainbow trout as bait. And he caught the big, huge striper, which at the time would have been a state record had he caught it legally.
Oh, no.
So he got caught. Yeah, that Neil guy there on the far corner back here was killed down on the King Ranch shoreline by an illegal hunter hunting from a boat. And the game warden happened to be out there and patrolling the area, saw him go into the shoreline, heard the shot, and apprehended them when they came back to their boat with this Neil guy.
And those Neil guy get about 600 or 800 pounds, don't they?
They're pretty good sized animals. Yeah, they're not a native animal to Texas. They're not considered a game animal, so there's no season on them, but they're still protected because that animal was on private property and owned by an individual. So what they're doing basically is trespassing the hunt, which is illegal.
I see. Is a lot of this the poaching? Is it for personal gain, or are people trying to sell to restaurants and stuff?
A lot of it's for personal gain, especially the deer. They just want that trophy horn to hang on the wall and brag about how they killed it. But it's not taken legally. It's just not taken the right way.
Now, this one you got behind you, was that that's not artificial. That's a real animal there.
Oh, that's a real animal. It was brought into the state of Texas from Pennsylvania, and it was not permitted to be brought in because they have to go through a process to bring an animal into Texas. We have a chronic waste disease that we try to protect our native stock from, and that prevents that from happening. This breeder brought this deer in illegally and was caught and put out of business as a result of it. It's a multi-million-dollar business. That's what these horns are all about. They basically sell them.
Yeah, I've known quite a few of the people they pay by the inch, and I've seen some of the advertised prices going up $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
That's not beyond a reason. They pay big bucks to hunt big bucks.
That's just amazing. Well, Operation Game Thief is an active operation that's going on in the state of Texas in the park system by people like Roy. It is something that they're currently doing a fundraiser for.
That's for sure. We're always looking for people to support us, whether it be financially or just word of mouth. Get out there and let people know. Operation Game Thief is a wildlife crime stopper program. It's an effective program, and I believe in it. So that's why I do this as a part-time job, is promote the program, and I enjoy doing it.
At the Guns and Outdoor Shopping Network, we totally believe in hunting as a way of life and fishing as a way of life, but only if it's ethical. And there are rules. They're meant to be followed. And gentlemen like Roy here that have made a living out of doing what's right are going to protect this game. And so at GOSN, we stand with Roy and the state in the endorsement of that. And we ask you to send in your money to help this program, Operation Game Thief. And you can contact them how?
Well, we have a 1-800 number, 1-800-792-GAME. It's a 24-hour number. You can call it 24 hours a day.
I appreciate it, Roy. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is MW, and until we meet again on GOSN.